afternoon. We are now, the Board of Selectmen will now be in a workshop to discuss the sidewalk snow plowing contract until 7 o'clock. Who wants to go first?
Well, my first question on this, and it's right on the first page, for the RFP portion of it, notice to bidders. In that first paragraph where, bids for a one-year contract, do we want to add in there which may be renewed for up to 2 years? In the RFP? If not, that's okay.
Yeah, I think if that's the...
I mean, that's what the contract says. It's, it's the same as the road one where it's potential for auto renew. I'm making, oh.
Yeah, I think we can word it just so for the bid for 1 year for this year with the
Yeah, which may be.
opportunity for an additional 2 years.
Yeah, which may be renewed for up to 2 years is my proposed wording right there. And I'm making changes in this as we're going, but I'm making them redlined, so I can send a copy out to everybody that shows the changes.
How does it read right now that you have with your proposed changes?
Town of Limerick, here and after the town, is soliciting bids for a one-year contract, October 1 to 2026 to April 30, 2027, which may be renewed for up to 2 years for the maintenance of certain areas within the town during the winter season, as further described herein.
Do we want to add in the word additional? In my mind, just looking at that or hearing that quickly.
For an additional 2 years.
Yes. In addition to this 1 year.
Yes, okay.
Sorry.
Nope,
That's good.
nope, I like that.
Okay, so if I'm not writing down the changes, you got that.
Yes, I am making them in here in a redlined. Yep, and then I'll send it out to you and everybody.
Batteries go quick, huh? Did we decide to keep it at 3 o'clock last week? Or did we do it 3:30?
I think we left it the same, we had talked about leaving that the same
Okay.
since that's what the roads was. And nobody came in shortly after or anything.
Is it, so on here it says 3, it's 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the next big change, if we're gonna make it, is gonna be on that first, on the bid proposal form, because it's got total contract price. Were we gonna do total contract price, or did we wanna go on a per storm basis?
I'd rather go on a total contract price myself, but the other one just encourages people to get out there and
Excessive,
being
unnecessary?
excessive.
That way we don't have to define per storm
Right.
and go through all that too.
Because we are saying they're gonna get out there and clean it, so we got a minimum of 2 inches, right?
And it's got pre-doing, pre.
The other option, if we did it by storm, seeing what is when we would tell them when to go out.
And that's just gonna become, that could just become a whole another issue. You know what I mean? I mean, that puts it in, you know, our hands every storm to be babysitting, and I think the contractors, especially if it's a per
If we have it just
year,
flat fee.
yeah, okay. Is everybody else on board with that?
Yeah?
Yeah, I am, because I don't want to be, you know, how do you, it's too much of a burden on the board to all come together, and each and every storm, it's just like crazy.
Be babysitting it all winter.
Absolutely.
I've been on the receiving end of the phone call. Typically, in the past, it was up to the chair, and so I think if we just do a total contract price and, yeah.
Then it's just get out there and get it done.
Yep.
If the sidewalk's warranted, storm warranted,
And there
whatever.
was 2 or 3 times where it was just the dusting, and I called Nick and said just salt and sand, so.
Yep. Yep. So, under scope of work, in 1AC, for priority hours, my personal thought, because I kind of went through this and made some notes, it should be during daytime hours. I mean, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. should be focused, because that's when people are walking to work, they've got to walk to the store, they've got to, if they're going to go somewhere, it's going to be during the day. Not necessarily from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. or 3 to 7. It's, they're going to be out during the day.
Yeah.
So is that one worth changing to attention to the, contractor shall pay particular attention to the hours between 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. and complete work to ensure that all sidewalks are kept clean during these hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Under letter F, do we want, still under that scope of work, do we want to put in a height limit? The contractor shall reduce high banks. High to you may be a different, in my mind, to another person.
Suggestion for height?
I would say window height. Vehicle window height.
Yeah, 4 feet,
No,
3 feet?
30 inches. You gotta have a defining inch, because that leaves too much for people's discretion.
Well, here's my question, you know, with that one plays into K, where, well, that one's on Main Street where they're actually removing it altogether. So there shouldn't be any banks.
no.
Sorry. All right, So, shall reduce high banks with wings to a level no, how do you propose wording that?
I'm unsure, I just didn't know if we wanted to put in an actual height, but then that runs into the issue of,
Where are you measuring from?
yeah,
Good point made.
we could have somebody go out and measure, and it's, if we say 30, we could have someone go out and measure it at 31 and try to avoid the
Yeah.
contract.
And, well, then they're gonna be mad, and,
I always say should be of a height so it'll be visible when driving a vehicle out from,
yeah, but what vehicle? Honda Civic or a GMC Denali pickup? I mean, it's-
So if we put a height limit and we have 2 or 3 big storms and they've got all the snow moved back, and how's he supposed to get it off? Because a lot of it, if he's, you know, snow blowing it on somebody, down over the hill, he puts it on the sidewalk, or not the sidewalk, but on someone else's property. How's he supposed to remove that if it's on somebody else's property?
snow blowing it, he won't have any banks.
Yeah. And I know
How
on,
about having it, the height not to be
To be reasonable.
any higher than,
I mean, we could say a reasonable height. Yes, it's, that's discretionary.
yeah,
It is.
very
But,
discretionary.
If people can't see it, if people can't see pedestrians, I mean, that's a safety issue too, because if somebody's driving by and they can't see somebody who's fallen. Should we just have them remove it like they're removing it on Main Street?
What are you gonna do downhill? They're going down over the hill,
Down Washington?
yeah.
Snow blow it into the back of a truck?
We're really talking some more cost.
I was gonna say, yeah, I mean, we can. It's just a matter of how much we wanna,
How much we
Pay.
wanna pay. We're trying to reduce the costs here, not increase them.
have we had, I
Obviously-
mean,
Ones
have
down over the
we,
hill, there's no reason why they can't blow those right out. Take, for instance, right down the street here, when you go past Brad's place, there's an open area there.
Yeah.
They can blow that out there 40 feet, and they're gonna make a bit of difference. But as far as trying to blow it off the sidewalk into in a trailer or a truck,
Yeah,
it's a waste of time.
Yep, okay.
Oh, it looked nicer, probably, but the problem
So-
you're dealing with there is
so-
you got the state that's plowing crap back on the sidewalk all the time.
I mean, if we put, reasonable height, or to a reasonable height, I mean, somebody's not gonna climb over a 5-foot bank, we hope. To ensure, a reasonable height to ensure visibility.
That's okay right there.
Yep. Yeah, that wording fits.
All right. Okay, what did I just say? To a reasonable height
to ensure visibility?
to ensure visibility. Thank you. Oh, high banks at that's intersections. Never mind. And to avoid. All right, we're gonna keep both sidewalks on Main Street having to be snow blown into a truck or trailer and removed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because on Main Street, there's really nowhere to push it, or there's nowhere to blow it to.
Do we know where they're gonna move it to? Or have any idea where they would move it to?
The town snow dump.
Snow dump
Which,
is up on the hill for
Yeah.
the
now
sidewalks.
needs to be bigger.
Well, there's
None of this going over and dumping in the transfer station and all that, like we did last year. Take it up in one place and dump it and be done with it. So I was talking earlier this spring about getting someone in there with a dozer and flattening that area out up there. So they have plenty of room to move a truck around, trucks, and they have plenty of room to put the stuff.
Provided we don't get 80 inches of snow each storm.
Well, there's such a thing as melting too.
Well, yeah. All right, so,
There's a cemetery back there too. We gotta be careful about that.
yes. I saw that.
There is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's a
that-
small one, but it's,
It's there.
Cemetery's a cemetery.
It's gotta be way back then.
it's right behind, there's that concrete-ish building back there.
Yeah,
It's right behind there. Like
Is it-
literally 30
I
feet
don't
away.
remember one ever being there.
They kept piling the ditching up, and actually, that ditching should all be removed. To make, if you're gonna make more space, if you removed all that ditching, I mean, that's a lot, there's a lot of fill there.
Well, there's a lot of gullies out there too. You put in a large dozer in there and they could have that all taken care of, enough room that they'll need for the winter. If they can't do it in 8 hours with a good operator, I don't know who's gonna.
All right. Any more changes or revisions in first section?
What does? L, shall relocate snow from Washington Street sidewalks to the side of the work area. The contractor shall also relocate snow from the turnout at the block dam/pier side, also known as lake side of Route 11. That's not the boat launch, is it?
You're talking about that little area down in where it just kind of goes down across from Dole's? Or not Dole's,
Across from the mill.
across from, yeah, from Carol's. That's where we're talking, right?
No,
Oh. Down to the dam, Skokas Lake.
Well, that's what, yeah, the contractor shall also relocate snow from the turnout at the block dam/pier side. I'm just wondering if that's in there from before the sidewalk was extended.
That might be.
Could very well be.
Let me take a look.
Well, we should put in something like to relocate the snow from Washington Street and Central Avenue sidewalks.
Oh, because it does go down to where
yeah,
Central Avenue
Yeah.
is now.
and that piece is,
So relocate snow from Washington Street and Central Avenue sidewalks?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it says is getting a little picky, but if you're relocating it from the sidewalk to the sidewalk, does that mean blowing it on somebody's lawn?
Sidewalk, they're gonna have to go across the road.
Are we gonna take it and just blow it into a vehicle and get it out of there? Because when you get down Central Avenue, you're not gonna be blowing much, you're gonna be blowing somebody's yard. There's no room to put it any other place.
No, there isn't.
We didn't have any issues with it this past year.
That we know of. I don't know if that down mailbox is still gonna stay down there this year after they get done ripping that all up.
I would say not if they tear that up. Make sure it's not there when they put it back.
I wouldn't put it back, that's,
So what are we doing with L, other than adding in Central Avenue?
I feel we've got to remove it because some of those homes are so close to that sidewalk. If we blow snow, then
well, basically, well, almost from where you come down over from the old Loretta Hall and get down in front of the mill, from there on, the stuff should be removed.
Yep.
Because there is no other place to put it. Can't blow it in up against the side of the building, and you can't blow it into the parking lot down there.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what has been being done right
Well,
along.
But
I know,
regardless, it's
yeah.
still gotta be
Gonna
in
be
here.
in here. Well, then have them remove it from there down.
I mean, if they moved it to that parking lot, it would probably have to, you're talking about the parking lot by Doughboys, right?
No,
If I'm
no
okay.
parking lot.
the mill.
Okay, the mill, never mind. Never mind, I'm thinking the other side.
There is a sidewalk in front of the mill, but it's kinda turned into
Built into the mill, yeah.
Yeah,
parking.
yep.
So, relocate snow from, so how is this from a point on the westerly side of the mill to a point at the end of the sidewalk on Central Avenue?
All right, from a point on the westerly side of the mill to,
The end of the sidewalk on Central Avenue. Because it's all, even though it's broken up, it's all one
Yeah.
sidewalk.
Or sidewalk ending on Central Avenue.
all right, hang on. So, shall relocate snow from Washington Street from a point on the westerly side of the mill to the end of the sidewalk on Central Avenue. Do we want to keep into the side of the work area?
Sorry, what?
Read that again.
Contractor shall relocate snow from Washington Street from a point on the westerly side of the mill to the end of the sidewalk on Central Avenue. End the sentence there. And then pick up with
There's
contract.
something in there, you had from Washington Street, and then you picked up the westerly side.
Yep, from a
What?
point on the westerly side of the mill.
Yeah, but, well, you said relocate snow from Washington Street sidewalk.
Oh, sidewalk. From a point on the westerly side of the mill.
No, from, then you say period, from Washington Street sidewalks. And then to be more descriptive, you said, then from a point on the westerly side of the mill to the end of the Central Avenue sidewalk.
Okay. Read back the first part of it in your brain, because we can't start it from. We can't start a new sentence from.
Well,
Okay. Contractor shall relocate snow from the Washington Street sidewalk beginning at a point on the westerly side?
well, if you're gonna be descriptive, you gotta say when you're gonna, where Washington Street starts, at junction of Main Street and Washington Street, down to almost go continuous. Okay, if you go from, remove all the snow from Washington Street sidewalks and from the Central Avenue sidewalk. Because there's only one.
All right, so the contractor shall relocate snow from the Washington Street sidewalk and from the Central Avenue sidewalks, period. But this is just getting butchered. Let me go back to start. Let me go back to start on this one. Because I think if
Why don't
we
we go
say
back, shall, instead of relocate snow, say
remove,
remove snow from the Washington Street sidewalk. I don't think we have to describe where it starts and it stops. I think because there's only one.
and the Central Avenue side, so,
And the Central Avenue sidewalk. And eliminate that second part about the
Yep,
block dam and all that.
yeah,
are you guys good with that?
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Do we want to keep in the, to the side of the work area?
What was the question?
Do we want to keep in the part to the side of the work area? That means they could blow it on somebody's lawn.
Well, that's basically what they do from Main Street down to where we're talking, as they blow it to the lawn. Because that's technically the side of the work area.
Okay, so leave it in there?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Okay, now read the whole thing over again.
Hang on, I'm clearing something up really quick, because... All right, contractor shall remove snow from Washington Street and Central Avenue sidewalks, plural, to the side of the work area.
Yes,
Wait a minute.
We don't have to put them in individually, because
no,
it's,
because it all flows,
right.
So he, basically what you're saying in that is he can remove it, or he can put it to the side of the sidewalk.
To
of
the
the
side
work
of the
area,
work
right.
area. I mean, do we want to put a provision in here that it's not going to be blown into somebody's yard? Or, I mean, that's just hard to do
Yeah.
on,
Where's it gonna
you
go?
really can't.
and residents on Central Avenue have walks that exit onto the sidewalk. So, you know, the contractor's not going to blow snow on a work area that's a person's private,
Hopefully.
hopefully, I mean,
You give people a lot of credit. All right. Term of agreement, stay the same, or?
Okay, let's look at this another way. If it gets out there and cleans up those sidewalks, and all of a sudden the state comes along, does their little thing pushing all the slush and stuff up on the sidewalk, what are we gonna do? Have them remove all that again?
It says in the contract, it says it's their responsibility to remove it. And that'll be the benefit of having a contract price and not a per event price.
I just don't like that term relocate.
We said remove. We changed it to remove.
Any other comments?
Not in that section, no.
Okay, one last time, Laurie. Before we leave it.
Contractor shall remove snow from Washington Street and Central Avenue sidewalks to the side of the work area.
Okay. Everybody in agreement?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go on.
Does anybody have any issue with the term of the agreement?
What's that?
In terms of the agreement.
Term of the agreement. 1 year with auto renew for 2, depending on the select board's
Right.
decision.
You can come on in. I have no issue with the term, no.
Wade?
Nope.
Howard?
None.
Also,
All right. Independent contractor section.
That works for me.
Sounds good.
Yep.
I'm good with it.
Yep.
Wade? All right, damage to town property. I think this,
That's good.
well, hold on, because this is gonna go into number 5.
Yep.
I think we end it at takeout and the salt and
Oh,
sand shed,
Sand shed.
and end it at guard post, period.
Yes.
So number 5.
We pay in for the sand and salt?
No. My suggestion, all right, my suggestion change, all salt and sand, or all sand and salt required by this agreement shall be provided and paid for by the contractor, period, end of paragraph.
Yep.
Yes.
Contractor shall be responsible for labor and equipment required to load all necessary materials at the contractor's salt and sand stockpile, which shall be maintained and replenished by the contractor during the period of this agreement, period. And then I got rid of, my proposal was to get rid of everything up to, trucks are not being loaded, that's all out, and then it picks up again, all material spreaders must be in good operating condition and need to be adjustable to spread material efficiently. Are we good with that change?
I think so. Yeah, the town's not providing sand or salt,
Right, right.
in my opinion.
And then under C, contractor shall only use said sand and salt provided for the town to fulfill its obligations under this agreement. So just changing the word by to for. I mean, really, it doesn't, that one's just kind of, doesn't matter. We could, my opinion, we could take C out altogether.
I was just thinking, yeah, why have it?
Yep.
That's eliminated.
Since they're not keeping it on town property, they're not. All right. Equipment.
What's a 3/4 or 1-ton plow?
I think that'd be a plow truck.
So we put truck equipped with a plow?
Yes.
3/4 or 1-ton truck equipped with plow and sander?
With Okay. Is that it for that paragraph?
Six-wheel dump. I don't think they like to use the word truck. But do we want, I mean, are we requiring a six-wheel dump truck?
On the, I don't think that's necessary on sidewalks. Especially if they have a trailer.
Yep.
Or, sorry, if they have a dump trailer. What?
So we're eliminating the six-wheel dump
Yes.
truck? Or
Yes.
keeping it in there and if they don't have a dump trailer?
No, because they're gonna be required to have a dump trailer.
Well, should we say
Either
dump
one.
truck or dump trailer?
I would prefer that.
Yeah, six-wheel dump truck or dump trailer.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Just need to add the word truck.
Yep,
And
truck
then-
and or. Got it. Any more changes to that section?
In this section, could we, heard a lot of complaints last year about that, about a truck going up sanding up on the sidewalk. The sidewalk should be, you shouldn't be driving the trucks up on the sidewalks. If a sidewalk sander, it would be a much better situation, a safer situation too. What does everybody else think?
Yeah. So how do we wanna?
Just say trucks, a truck with a sander will not be used on the sidewalks.
So then we
On-
shouldn't
on
require a plow truck or sander if they can't use it on the sidewalk for the sidewalk contract. And we have a weight limit of 10,000 pounds and
It's gonna ensure that the thingies stay low.
oh. How many complaints did we have last year? I can think of one.
I think quite a few. They were all verbal, I didn't get any written complaints on it, so.
I don't feel we want to prohibit the contractor that close. If a situation presented itself that they needed to aggressively treat the situation, we're all subject to weather and we don't know what the conditions are. obviously, no contractor's gonna use a wheeler,
Oh, no.
so it's gonna be within 3/4 or 1-ton truck,
Right.
and the whole vehicle's not on the sidewalk. I mean, there's a lot of,
Half it's in the road.
Yeah, half it's in the road.
so weight, the amount of weight on the sidewalk, and, you know, if that's a concern with someone,
Well, the main concerns I had was that half of it was out in the road and it was out in the traveled way. People had to either stop or
Yeah.
swerve around them. That was the only concern. I mean, basically, they're wasting salt on half of their load, going down over
But
that
it's
hill.
their cost.
Oh, yeah, now.
And really, they should be using more salt than, I mean, more sand than salt on the sidewalks. Because salt will just eat them.
Ideally, they shouldn't be using any salt on those.
Yeah, but if we have ice storms,
But-
we need it.
But you're gonna get it no matter what, because you got the state is gonna be throwing stuff out there, and it's all salt and
Yeah.
that.
And
So
if we
you
get
can't get,
freezing-
you can't get away from it, so.
No, and with freezing rain, you
It's
gotta
just
have.
gonna- It's just gonna, break down the concrete over time. Which in that situation would probably take a long time. But it's just a concern.
So are we leaving that then?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
I mean, the word just totally left me earlier, but if they're doing that, the bankings are gonna be lower. They're not gonna have high banks between the road and the sidewalks and.
right,
Well, if they're removing all this stuff, they wouldn't have it anyway.
Exactly. All right. Anything in B?
Nope.
Looks okay. Ah,
For letter of credit, do we want to put a date in when they have to have it to us by?
Yes.
same as what we get in the road plow contract. Within, what, 30 days? Or is it 10 days in the road contract, when they gotta have the,
Let me look.
I wanna think, I was reading that this afternoon, I think it was 10.
What, on the road?
Yeah. Has to be within our hands within 10 days after the signing of the contract.
We do not have,
Would they be able to even get a bond
we
in 10
don't have the
days?
letter of credit in that one, it's a
it's a
performance
bond,
bond.
it's a performance bond.
Yeah, but, you know, well, we'll talk about that later, but,
We need to
letter
take
of
that-
we can get in 10 days.
No,
In the past, it's been a certain date the first year of the contract award, and then a date a month later the next 2 years, so.
I'm totally against letters of credit. Have them bonded.
Do we want to put the bond in instead?
Well, if you put a bond in, you're gonna have to have more than 10 days, because I don't think anybody's gonna get a bond. They usually take
Right.
30 to 40 days. So if anybody's got one, and you put it in there for 10 days, they're not gonna have it in 10 days.
Right.
No, they're not.
So,
So do we want to,
I would say have the same language that we've got in the road contract, in this contract.
all right, so change the letter of credit to the performance bond?
Yes.
Everybody else good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Insurance, any changes?
Looks fine to me.
That's all done.
All set.
Indemnification,
That's all pretty normal stuff.
yep, bills and claims,
I think we need to remove the first, with the exception of the sand and salt, or
Right.
salt and sand.
my suggestion would be including but not limited to the cost of salt and sand. The contractor shall be responsible for all expenses.
Yes, that wording fits.
All right. All right, standard of performance is typical breach. Anything else? Oh, is anybody down to number 17? Down to number 17. Sorry, I've already gone through this. Let me know if you have any changes up to number 17.
Is that about the same as we had last year?
Yep.
Yep, but on number 17 payment schedule, I think the scheduled payment should be made the last warrant of the month for the payment, not the first. So you're paying for work that's done in that month, not prepaying, because if there's an issue and we have to withhold payment, it's hard to do that if we've already paid it out.
I agree.
You're providing a safeguard for the community.
You okay with that one, Brady?
Yep.
Okay. And then Howard, I fixed your name. Jerry, I changed your name. So I corrected. In both places, Howard. Right, so if that's it, I will email this to Courtney and have her print it out. I'm sending it in PDF, this way the red lines will show on the printout. And that way everybody can see.
Want to take 5 minutes before we start on this regular meeting?
Nah. Oh, I mean, I don't need to. Do you need 5?
Go ahead.
Move the workshop.
Okay, at this point, we'll consider the workshop closed, and we'll start up our regular scheduled meeting in a minute, or 3 minutes, I guess. 28th Select Board meeting for the town of Limerick. Would you join me in the flag salute? Okay, I have a motion to accept this week's warrants.
So moved.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? All opposed?
I didn't get a chance to review them.
Okay, motion to approve the July 21st meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Second moved and seconded to accept. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, announcements. Wade?
The Select Board will meet on Tuesday, August 4th at 7 PM. The Planning Board will meet on Wednesday, August 5th at 7 PM. And the Select Board Admin's office will be closed on Thursday, July 30th, and Friday, July 31st for the payroll training. Select Board Admin will be available through email. The Select Board is looking for 2 new members to join the Budget Committee. If interested, please contact the Select Board Admin. And the Select Board is looking for 2 individuals to join the Appeals Board. If interested, please contact the Select Board Admin. The Select Board asks that you silence your cell phones during meetings in order to limit interference with microphones or discussion of agenda topics. As part of the hearing of citizens policy, no personal attacks on any individual or firm, including town employees, town officials, or members of the public, will be tolerated during any meetings. Please direct concerns about individual employees or town officials to the chairman of the Board of Select Persons outside the public meeting. For your convenience, complaint forms are readily available on the sign-in table.
Okay, thanks. Department reports. Julie? Julie? Reports?
Good evening, everybody. I appreciate you giving me the time tonight. Sorry I haven't been here for a while. I've had some deaths in my family, 2 in fact, in the last 2 weeks. Very close friends for over 50 years. But neither here nor there, I'd like to bring this to the people that are employees. If you continue to watch your invoices that you're doing, please don't attach, staple multiple invoices to one purchase order. Just make a copy of the purchase order. If they're stapled together, there's a chance that they could not get pulled apart if somebody else is doing the warrant. And please don't write on the remittance advice, because that makes more work for either myself or whoever's doing it, because we have to pull it apart, take a picture of it, and then cut the warrant off. And also, when you're doing your accounts, there are 8 digits in the expense account, only 6 in the revenue and the GL. But because only 4 have been used in the revenue account. So just if you could slow down just a little and watch what you're doing, it would be greatly appreciated. It would help anybody, and just that was the policy of the doing the purchase orders. Presently, you're in the checking account. That does not include any checks from the 2 warrants that are being issued today, or any of the checks that have not cleared. There's $1.6 million in the general checking account, of which $450,000 we borrowed on for the TAN, because it had got down before a certain level, and we had a warrant that superseded it, and I was given, that means that I could draw it. Originally, we was gonna do more, but we did 450. There's 1.5 million available, and hopefully we'll not have to borrow any more. That has been the past practices since I've been here. This is the most that we have borrowed, but I followed what I was asked to do and proceeded on. We have a new payroll company, which I'm very proud to say is part of our own bank that we have here in Limerick. So it'll make it a lot more convenient if there's an issue. They're just down over the hill, and they're not that far away in Lewiston or Auburn. And they've been so far so good. It's been very nice to work with them. I do not know what the time frame is on to becoming live. Next, I'd like to mention a little bit about your rescue billing. A department head and also a selectman asked, and I gave a detailed breakdown of the rescue billing. And as of the date that I did it on 7/20, it was balanced right up to date for $846,331.09, of which the money from the 2025 revenues has not been moved forward because in the past practices, all the way back to 2019, the money for 2025 wouldn't be moved till 2026 once the audit is done. This has been carried all through, up through the years. And also I'd like to state that after 2022, in the 3-year period, you only earned $4,514 and change in interest. And from 2024 to current, which is 2 years, 6 months, the account has earned $53,626.43 just by the mere fact of going to the bank and seeing if we could get a higher interest, which they were willing to work with us. So that is a substantial increase for us on getting our revenues. One of the selectmen gave me the expense account summary, and there's 10 lines that are in the red. And if I could quickly go down through them, because you'll be able to see all of them when it's posted online. There's a $423 in the red on administrative supplies. It went to the wrong account. It will be moved in a journal by tomorrow. Then we came over to the contingency fund. There's $9,570 in that, of which we will be reimbursed everything but $957. My recommendation is just ask for the $957 or whatever you plan on your next special town meeting. I have not been told if they're going to or what. The next one comes in the fire department. There's two lines in the first of it that show in the red for payroll. They were quoted in the payroll and hadn't been caught. They are being fixed. It's not anything issue, so that also will be adjusted. When you get to page 4, you're in the EMS. And there was a line that was highlighted. It said it was $1,722 over expended. Well, that was the total of the entire budget because it takes the deficit and the positive, and that made the negative. It's in the red, $6,400. This is because of an invoice that was recoded by a department head to expend from that, and it said EMS and its memberships, and there was no money in the budget, and didn't have any other place, but I coded it as per instructed by a department head. If the committee, well, the selectmen wish it to be changed, please advise, and I'll gladly do it. Because as per the town's vote, there was no money in the membership dues for the EMS department. The page 5 it's in the red for the fund franchise. That's a use of a fund balance. I can't put any figures in until we get the 25 budget done, audited, and know what our fund balance is, and then that's where it comes. But it's always shown in the red. There's never been any money showing in the budget for that particular line, which it says for use of fund balance once the budget is done. And currently it's $26,506. If anybody wishes to have a detail of that, if they could put a note and give it to Courtney, I will gladly look into it. As of right now, I do not have that information. On the last page, there's a problem in the building and public buildings, and it's on the contracted lines. Currently, it's 13,400 and change in the red, and it's merely that it's got to get moved up to a line, to the professional line and not the contracted. Just a mere coding. It was into by the vendor's number and was not caught, and I'm sorry for that. I'll take blame for that. The next one is for RSU, the commitment. We do know what the school budget is. And we also know what the county taxes is. Those cannot be put in until I get the complete commitment for this year. And as is before, those came in September of the prior years, because otherwise I do not have the ability to make a balanced journal entry. And so it's going to stay in the red until the commitment is done. One more is there was $100 in the capital fund budget. That was a coding error by 1 point, and that'll be fixed. And the last one is rescue billing. That always stays in the red. There's never been any budget for it. That is for what we pay back to medical reimbursement for their services, where we're getting the money in. And I looked in previous years, and it's always stayed in the red. But those were all the lines that were in the red. And as I said, there was only 10, and I've given you reasons on all 10 of them, and we'll get them straightened away, what I can do, and go from there, and hopefully it will rectify itself. That goes with that, that goes with that. Okay. Going over your expense budget right now. Figuring this is the end of the month, we should be 7/12 expended, or 0.5833%, which I'm approximating we are very close, because with the negative figures in there for those 3 big negative things, that the school budget and the main medical reimbursement, that shows the bottom line is off. Anytime anybody has any questions, you're more than welcome to come down, or if you put it in writing, it doesn't have to be an FOAA, send me an email. You want to see a report, I will gladly give it to you. That is no problem. I'd rather the town know exactly what they're looking at instead of guessing wrong, and then I'm the big bad witch of the north. But I'm doing everything by the books. None of the things are wrong. To my knowledge, as of this point, as soon as the audit is done for 25, we will carry it forward, and it's already carried some of the figures, but there will be more from an auditor, I am presuming, because there always has been in the past years. And as of to date, the investment sweep has raised $12,980. The rescue billing sweep has raised $10,500 and change. The franchise fees have brought in 2 payments of $15,700 and change. Your original initial budget was 4.474 and change of the when the town budgeted. This week, on the 27th, we received $128,694 for the 2025 PI grant, which has been posted. The RSU bill is 4.9 and change. The county bill will be $295,000 and change. But as I said, this is the commitment that we enter. Dottie's asked me to fill some of it out, and once the assessor fills in the rest of it, it has such things as the education, county tax commitment, state revenue sharing, overlay, fund balance, homestead reimbursement, and business equipment, and that is where you get your tax commitment for 2026. Let's see. you got that. And
Julie, can you send us a copy of that? I know I haven't seen that. Has anybody else?
No, I haven't.
Can you send
what for
us
what it should be like?
the
The
commitment?
commitment.
Okay, I have the one for 2025, but nothing for 2026.
Okay.
That's
Sorry, I
still-
thought you were talking 2026. You'd
No,
filled in
ma'am.
numbers. Okay.
No,
never mind.
I do not. Just the 2025 to go by that I know what it entails, and that's why you haven't got figures in your budget.
Okay.
But I tried to answer every question that I was asked. And as far as with Deep Vale, there's been 3 payments from the state in the excess of $216,000 and change. We removed from ARPA, there was supposed to be 125, but due to the fact one bill was over by 5 cents, there was only 124,995.95. And that new money is part of Hollandville, as it states by the paperwork, as I stated, was 128,694. We've had in Deep Vale and Hollandville, unfortunately, we've had an account a couple times that bills have been paid twice. I have been instructed to pay a vendor, and the vendor sends a check back to me because I guess you would call it the contractor has paid him, but we've reimbursed them and given them that back. But as I stated, anything that anybody wishes, and I owe one person in the audience an apology. I've got it, but I forgot to bring it tonight. I apologize, and that's to Dean. Your FOAA, which is long overdue, is all complete, and I think you'll be very surprised of how it balances out, because there's about 5 people in that budget. Okay? And Dottie should have it tomorrow, if I don't get run over by an ox tonight. But I've got nothing against any of the public. I was told that I ought to say this, and I do it wholeheartedly. I'm here. I'm doing my term. I'm not going to be a coward and run away. Yes, you broke my spirit, but I'm going to keep on going because that's what I was trained to do, and to do it right. And your figures will be the best that you've had in over 10 years once they are done. That I can say without relaxing and knowing, because of what your past auditor, what your previous one that helped, he wasn't an auditor, but he was justifying the books. It helps to be able to do your books when you know what your balance are. It's like putting a car together. You can't put your left fender on your right fender, but if you don't know where it goes, you're going to try anything before you get it done. And we hopefully have got everything where it belongs, and with the 25 audit, once the auditor gets started on it, we'll know for sure. And the figures have been brought forward, so what you're seeing in the 26 is as far as I can bring it forward as of right now. I am having somebody on the budget committee is looking at the reports and has spotted a couple things, and we're going to work on it to see what exactly it is. I will not lie. I haven't had a chance to look at it, doing everything else that had to be done. My deputies had her own stuff and been on vacation, so we're a one-man ship, and God bless Courtney for helping me when she can. But we're trying to make the best of everything, of a bad situation if there is one, and to get it cleared away. The tax collector is doing an amazing job, is tracing the funds all the way back and knows what we did today. Everything is in balance on one fund, but there are 6 funds to look at. And unfortunately, I was not here when they were initiated, and also to the fact that they've been renamed, recoded. We deleted over 7 pages of account numbers that we no longer need. There's still more in there. They can be consolidated. You don't have to have, for every freckle on a body, a budget number. You consolidate it, you do your, either your carry forwards or but make them so that you're specifically stating what they are for. And that can even be done on a warrant article if you're carrying forward for, say, from 26 to 27. If you have some ideas, all you make is the article, and I can help with the wording of it, and list the account number, and that gets moved from 26 to 27. And I am more than willing to help. I stay where I am because I am reachable when anybody needs me, and that's the way I feel, even on the weekend. We're never without a title, as the state says, just like the president. He's always the president. I'm always your treasurer, and these folks are always your selectmen. And I'm very happy to work for them. And there's one other issue, it was brought up last week, wrong pocket. On a purchase order, I have not cashed a check, I have not signed a check. That's the case that I bought. It also has a cord to charge it too. And I paid $100 and change for it. Verizon deducted a substantial amount from the bill. It shows sales tax, but they reduced the bill by the sales tax because anybody that goes into the Biddeford store is going to get charged sales tax. Didn't matter if I had a write-off number or whatever, they cannot write it off. I did not mean anything by it by buying a case, but that case has got a lifetime warranty. And I figure that case is going to outlive me, and so won't the phone. It won't be broke like mine has got broke. But I hope that that'll be released so that I can be reimbursed, because $100 is a lot to me right now, and whatnot. But I did not sign it, and I won't sign it till I know that this is all right. I know you can buy a lot cheaper ones. I paid $75 for the one that I've got on my phone right now. Mine's not as new as that. I paid $75 for this, and this is not warranty, but it's been run over, it's been dropped from 2 stories, and it's still trucking for America. But I hope that this is, I did not try to do anything underhanded, deceitful, or anything. Didn't mean anything by it. I can only imagine what it would have been if I'd used the town's credit card, but I used my own. So with that, I will close. And as I said, please, anybody, if you've got any questions, please put them in writing and give them to Courtney, and I'll gladly get back to you. I tried to answer all the bases tonight, and hopefully I've done okay. Anything else from the board?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On the payroll,
Yes, ma'am.
for the payroll administrator portion, I know there's a very large amount of training that is involved. Is this something that, I don't know if Sue has time to come in and maybe do the training?
I haven't had her for 2 weeks right now. I know, I've just heard that it's Thursday and Friday, so I will be here and clear my desk for that.
Okay. All right, I just know it's a lot, I've gone through what, all the training things, and I was just going, wow, there's a lot of hours involved,
Okay.
so.
But
I just
I will
wasn't
be,
sure if-
more or less, from what I understand, be the backup for Courtney, and that won't be bad, but I've already also been through 2 other transitions elsewhere in my career.
Okay.
And I'm not afraid of it, just got to look at it. I've been trying to clear the desk for you folks and get everything that you've been asking for.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
And just so everybody's aware, I know not everybody's here, but maybe they're watching. Courtney, your running point on the training, once it gets to that point.
Yeah, so I'm hoping this thing works. I
It is.
changed the battery. So, like on the announcements, I'm closing down my office on Thursday and Friday to do the training so that I can turn around and get in contact with department heads to go over like how the interface works and all of this stuff. So that is why I'm doing the training, because I am the payroll clerk and I am going to be point person. For department heads, I will be sending out an email when we get closer to implementation to set up time for probably a couple of department heads at a time to come in and sit down with me so I can go through the interface and go from there.
So do you want me there with you Thursday and Friday? Or would you rather not?
No, because it's individual training.
Okay,
So it is like you have to go through them on your own
okay.
kind of thing. They're kind of like test, kind of.
Okay.
So each individual person has to do them. So yeah. So that's
So
why
yeah,
I'm
you're
closing.
gonna have, yeah, you are gonna need to find time to do it, because you are gonna need to know,
Yes, ma'am.
so.
No disrespect intended. And if you would let me know if I can cash that check for the phone case, I'd be greatly appreciated.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from anybody here? Anything?
How much is our revenue sharing going so far? And what's the anticipated amount? Awesome.
Don't mind me.
You wanna ask that again, so everybody knows?
I just asked about revenue sharing, at what point we're at, and what's the anticipated amount for the end of the year?
I was going to stick right up for me. State revenue sharing. $264,170 and change so far today. And everything in my office is posted. I found the $128,000 online by looking at the budget. But I will tell you, I have reached out to that company, the Maine State Treasurers, and asked her to send me an email when the money was going, and they did. And that made it so that I at least knew at the same time everybody else had it previously in the town.
So we're probably going
You get one every month, yeah.
445,000, something like that.
You should be, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because you can go online and check all that.
Thank you. And I will get to you what you was looking at too.
Yeah, I have an answer for you.
Okay, thank you.
53,000.
Okay. Anybody else? Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Julie, for all your hard work.
Thank you. For the council, thank you.
Okay, next item, Judy. You wanna-
Well, Audrey's,
She asked if she could get in.
I'll make it quick, if I can. I've been watching the meetings and listening to different ones, wondering who was to blame, what happened to the money, why aren't the ending and beginning balances, why they aren't matching. And I'm not an accountant, but I would like to go over how the town started changing their accounting. Started in 2009, we were still carrying the balances. So that way there, I think it stopped because they felt that we was just, if we had a balance left over each department, try to blow it. So instead, they stopped that. So then we started no more carrying balances in 2010, and the money went to an unassigned or undesignated account. March of 2012 is when we started with these capital project reserve accounts. So, 2012, some of the articles was, again, all the proceeds, selectmen to cut timber on town-owned property under the terms and conditions of the best interest of the town, and apply these proceeds that wanted to go to a fire station capital project account. 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031, 2032, 2033, 2034, 2035, 2036, 2037, 2038, 2039, 2040, 2041, 2042, 2043, 2044, 2045, 2046, 2047, 2048, 2049, 2050, 2051, 2052, 2053, 2054, 2055, 2056, 2057, 2058, 2059, 2060, 2061, 2062, 2063, 2064, 2065, 2066, 2067, 2068, 2069, 2070, 2071, 2072, 2073, 2074, 2075, 2076, 2077, 2078, 2079, 2080, 2081, 2082, 2083, 2084, 2085, 2086, 2087, 2088, 2089, 2090, 2091, 2092, 2093, 2094, 2095, 2096, 2097, 2098, 2099, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, It did pass as amended, apply all proceeds to a capital project reserve account, and then the comment was made that has to go back to the town for a vote to spend it. Then we started in transferring the amount of 100,000 from the unassigned fund balance to a capital project reserve account. They wanted it as a fire station capital reserve, that it got amended to be just a capital project reserve account. Then 50,000 was transferred, again, from the undersigned designated fund balance to the municipal building capital reserve account. And then $50,000 was approved for the selectmen if they needed to make necessary upgrades to the municipal building. And then we had another transfer of 20,000 from undesignated funds. I'm just trying to say that we started spending money. It was like a little pocketbook for undesignated accounts. We started transferring it then we started in these capital projects. March 8, 2019, there was more movement from unassigned account to capital project reserve accounts. So we had, again, money going to a capital project reserve account. 70,000 was moved to the capital reserve account, and then $30,112 went from the assigned account for improvements for the municipal building. Again, like I said, it keeps going from unassigned over to different things, again, to help bring down our commitment so you wouldn't be taxed, because it was money sitting in the bank, per se. So, just to start off with this capital project stuff, we have 4 different account numbers. Started off in 2019, account number was G3524 for capital project reserve, and that's all it was just capital project reserve. 2000, for that same account number, it went to we started taking in money for big project. One was started with Hollandville, which had its own account number of 3534. So we had money going from the 524 account going into this 534 account, which was Hollandville. And then we changed again. This here was in 2023. We changed from Hollandville, the balance left over to go into the capital project reserve account for Deepdale, which is account number G536. Then, again, what the issue is we stopped carrying balances. Then we started in with unassigned account money. And then it was like, okay, we got a pot there, so we'll start making up capital project reserve accounts. And again, if you look at your account chart of accounts, capital project reserve account, right now you've got it starts with the G13100, goes all the way up to G646. So you got a bunch of different account numbers for capital project reserve. To sit there and try to keep track of all this, I went back again from 2012 up to 2026, and there isn't too many of them. Most of them say negative balances, which I know it would say that because you don't until the next year before you put that balance in to begin. So it says negative to begin with when you end. For anyone, again, this whole setup, it's just moving money around. Some of these accounts I went in, they no longer, there's nothing in them, but they're still sitting there. Also, I sat with Julie today to go over some of these accounts that this Jeremy made, changes where he had to debit certain accounts, which is in the journals, which I don't have no idea. Julie tried to show me some of those journal numbers, where it came out of, where it went to. But looking at this stuff, like I said, I'm no rocket scientist, but there was a lot of adjustments done. This Jeremy guy from July 10th to, started July 10, 2026, he debited $2,746,429.10. Then credits was $2,746,429.10. But he took them out of different accounts. Again, it was a G 350, 3520, 3521, 24. To keep track of it, what got me going was because the tax acquired stuff, now we're starting in on that. They're selling properties again. We have 4 type setups to receipt it. I'm not comfortable with receiving anything because we have on town meeting, there was an article back in 2012 for the article to save the capital project reserve account. Wasn't that, it was a fire station capital project reserve account. Authorized the board of selectmen to sell and dispose of town-owned lots with or without buildings with terms and conditions that are the best interest of the town, and to apply those proceeds to the capital project reserve account after all taxes and costs. This is after all taxes and costs have been paid on each parcel. That's the way we've got it written now. But the issue there again is they're trying to set up capital project reserve with the tax acquired. They're trying to set it up under cash type setup to go directly into the capital project account number 3534, which I think, again, tax acquired money is property that you've sold. You're supposed to take out, again, it's real estate, your principal, your interest, and all this stuff. Whatever's left over, state law now, you have to either get it back to the heirs, if you can't find the heirs, and you have to send it back to the state, and then they put it in their unclaimed things for up over a year. So I would like somehow, instead of keep getting messes like this, like it's been since 2009, trying to set up all these different accounts, I would like to, we need to stop, go over these accounts, I don't know who can do it, and get it so it's more user-friendly, so you know what the hell is going on. Like I said, it doesn't balance, and I can understand why. But I don't want to, before we do this tax acquired stuff, start receipting it, I'd like someone to professionally set up a tax acquired account. So when I got a receipt, let's say you sell the property for $50,000, how much of it going to your capital project reserve account, which it shouldn't go there until you're getting the money back into your principal, because that's where real estate taxes didn't get paid. So you have liens, and then after that, it goes to tax acquired. It needs to go back into what your commitment was, I feel. That would be the proper way. You go back into your property. Then your interest, like you're charging them all these years of interest, that should go back into this interest account, so forth and so on. Again, you can't have a profit. The profit has to go back to the heir or to the state now. Like I said, you can't just take it and put it anywhere you want to. But like I said, it does say here that and that's what Standard made the remark to me, we vote on it every year, which they have been voting on it, for it to go to capital project reserve. Again, it says after everything is done, then you can, whatever, to move to capital project. But again, then you've got to deal with the state law now. You can't keep it.
So in other words, you put all the money in one piggy bank.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm no accountant, but somebody needs to do something about setting this up. Right now, capital project reserve, we have, tax acquired properties, we have 4 different ways of receiving it. And they're all different account numbers of where it's gonna go. That's bull. It should be one account number for tax acquired, just like there's one account number for your regular yearly taxes. You get the 150, which is your general, nobody's behind on the taxes, they're paying the tax bill. Goes to lien, then it goes to a 175 account. That means it's liened property. But it's still principal and interest. They pay it, then they get the lien released. Now we get into the tax acquired, and all of a sudden want to shove it into capital project reserve. I think they're just asking for more trouble.
Who's Jeremy?
What's that?
Jeremy.
I don't know. some accountant or audit, one of the auditors we must
He was
have.
a forensic accountant,
Oh, Hank.
Hank.
So like I said, to sit here and try to pick apart how Julie or how Laura or how Tammy, any of them did their accounting or books and stuff is bullcrap. Because I don't think anybody here understands any more about these accounts than I do. But that's just my opinion.
Suggest we have a workshop and we get this done once and for all.
I would like to see some,
Before the money, because the money's gonna be starting to come in, so. And that
'cause I know
may
the
be easier.
selling. You're selling property. I don't want to keep going with this gone and wonder when the heck it's going. And like I said, legally, even though it says capital project reserve to move it to that, legally, you can't do that. I don't see how you can.
Changed that back in 2012, all these figures. It was going fine before that. Who changed the board? Who was it?
2009, we stopped carrying balance. We were still carrying balances. 2010, Kim Oliver was on board too. At that time, I think Howard was. Doesn't matter, but they stopped carrying the balances, and Mr. Frank Carroll wanted to close downtown meeting that year because we didn't get to vote to say we would no longer carry balances. They just did it on that warrant in 2010.
Why did they feel they could do it if it wasn't proper or legal?
Like I said, again, they did it. He was gonna fight it and can't stop the whole town meeting. But then people there voted to go ahead not to carry it. But that was kind of after the fact. So
So
the
Frank
warrant
was
was already
right.
done up and the budget
Yeah.
part was all done without carrying balances. The
So
money.
since then, it's just snowballed, whoever's on wants to change the
No, it's
capital.
not just the boards, it's the way the people vote. Look at what you're voting for. No one's
Right.
reading these articles. Like I'll see where it say transfer from the G blah 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 account to this account, blah 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 blah, and it's like, I have to go in budgetary, look to see what what we're voting on, what account we're moving it from and to.
We got a workshop to straighten out minimum numbers so everybody on all sides can understand, why.
I think the
have
people need to
600
understand
numbers.
also, said a lot of it, the voters vote for this stuff. Again,
Well, they need to be educated instead of just.
all right, so like I
have
said, you can't
10
sit there.
Items in one article.
But every week to sit here and blame certain selectmen or, accountants or auditors and stuff, it's the way we're doing things. I just think we need to get a little bit, it's too widespread, all these account numbers, there's just too many account numbers.
This-
One
that-
thing you can do,
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Nope, that's okay. I got it right here.
One thing you could do, you could make a one capital reserve account and sub off that account, all the other accounts that you want, understand what I'm saying? So you got a main capital reserve, and then you got capital reserve, fire station, capital reserve, this, that, so that it's
Instead of
not.
different account numbers for each.
Yeah, different
capital
levels,
project
different,
department.
menus, yeah.
Simplify it, yeah.
I said, I just think, instead of sitting there trying to throw blame at everybody, because it's not. Everybody's trying to get our tax dollars spent the best way you can. The voters, same way. We vote and then wondering why taxes are still going up and stuff, but yet they vote to move this money from unassigned or money that we get from tax acquired property or whatever to keep spending for other projects. So like I said, and it's hard to keep track of where it's going and why there's sometimes there'll be money left in some of these accounts because they change it to another account number. The money was supposed to got moved. If it didn't get moved, then this money's just sitting in these accounts and nobody knows where it went or what account it's in. But like I said, my main concern right now is I'd like to see this tax acquired somehow set up in cash receipting so they can go and receipt it. You know where it's going, the total money that you took in for that sale, and then how you're distributing it through your budgetary. So I don't know if you're gonna have to get some auditor or some bookkeeper or however, but
The beginning figure that you asked for, the count, is already established.
with that,
The
Yeah.
beginning one to subdivide has already been established. We did that when Hank was here, or Jeremy. and it's sitting out there to wait to be used this year, but we haven't got it subdivided to know where it goes until the audit is completely done.
You talking about the tax acquired?
Tax acquired, she established an account, it's got like $258,290 in it. And that, Julie,
Yes, ma'am.
isn't that account the one that's for the funds to go back to the individual? Because if you put it in the regular capital reserve, you're not authorized to take that money back out.
So is this where it's set up to go, right there? That was the last one I got.
Yep. I would, if general ledger accounts, you can't do cash receipting to, I can't see why you
That
can't
is your
have.
capital project reserve account.
Correct, yes it is. Yep,
So the principal is gonna go all into that.
yeah, it should go into her new tax acquired account. I don't know the
This
number
one
off the
here,
top of my
don't,
head.
this one here, we can't use no more. That's one we have been using.
Did they say not to use it?
Does it
We don't
say
have
that?
to- Yeah, I know, but that doesn't make sense.
Because now, then this was put up. I don't know who put this in.
Yeah, that shouldn't be 524, that should be the tax acquired account. That the money
Right.
goes to the individual.
It shouldn't go to a capital project account, which that 3524, that is what that is.
Yep.
My God, right there.
Yes, yes, yep, I
That
unfortunately
19
know these
that goes-
numbers.
It goes all the way up to 2025.
Yep.
Okay, can we
Okay,
carry on here?
I'm done.
Just so everybody knows, they mentioned the zero accounts, zeroing out the accounts. I was on the board the same year that we hired R.H.R. Smith. And it was R.H.R. Smith that recommended that we go to zero-based budgeting because the state was doing it. The state liked to see it. Personally, I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now. Because, and you find that, and there's a lot of townspeople that have mentioned this to me, either when I was on the board, now, as long as I've been on the board, and previous, that like the idea of looking at the town report at the end of the year and looking at, let's say, a certain account, say, oh, well, we budgeted 100,000 for them, and they got a balance left of 25. So therefore, they only needed 75 that year.
And that they're being very conscious of the spending.
Right. But by going zero-based budgeting, at the end of the year, to me, it encourages people to spend the money. Which, what?
That's why you raised and appropriated it for them to spend.
That's right. But
And regardless,
it doesn't encourage people, departments to be frugal either.
probably not, but let me make a statement. So you know at the end of the year, you can see what every account has or what's going to go into the end of, unassigned at the end of the year. I made the practice of making a decision when I was on the board to say, okay, we need 3 months of what we have left over to maintain. Whatever was left over, I would say, okay, 200,000 will do it to offset commitment. And then the rest can go out to capital project accounts for things that are happening. But as the budget keeps going up and up and up, and the amount of money that's dumping back into unassigned or what isn't unassigned doesn't have a very large impact on your commitment if you only put 200,000, especially when you're in an $8 million range. So it doesn't matter, because I had proved it years ago. Someone said, well, we spend more money by doing zero-based budgeting. And I said, no, you don't. It's the same thing, because all you're doing is netting out what's happening. That's all you're doing. You're not saving any
But
money.
it gives the taxpayer a better understanding, looking at a beginning balance and an ending balance. This isn't rocket science.
I know it's not rocket science, but I don't look at it
But
that way. I look like an accountant
And the people's
does.
mind looking at that, that's their money and saying, look, I gave you 100, you spent all of it,
Yep.
next year you want the same amount again.
Well,
And maybe there's no need for it.
Then maybe there isn't a need for it. Maybe there isn't a need for them to have more money. That's when you say, pull back on the strings, on the money, pull back and say, look, every year you have $25,000 more left in your account. Why? Are you afraid that you might spend too much money and not have enough money? In that case, if you get to the point that you don't have enough, then you go ask for more. And I can prove to you that you had more special town meetings when you did carry balances, because one thing is not guaranteed, because it wasn't just carrying balances, it was the revenue that that department took in itself. Okay, so when that, if you don't, expenses are guaranteed, revenue is not, and you're more than likely we're going to have to come back to the town because you ran short on revenue.
And then on your article, if it says transfer instead of raise, everybody's gonna vote yes. Oh my God, they have to raise my taxes, so we need to raise more money. We're just gonna transfer from this other account.
Yep.
So people see transfer, not raise, and they don't care, as long as they wanna raise it.
Yep.
I'm done, I won't say no more. I've got I promise. I'll let you finish your meeting.
Okay, we all done on this discussion? Okay, let's go on. Next department, Audrey Walsh, the Rec Department.
Sorry I missed last week. No excuses. I want to personally thank everybody that's given donations for the pickleball for the striping. And there's still more coming in. The bottles and cans I'd also like to thank everybody for. Thank you, Brady, for reaching out. And the sign is fixed at Boy Scout Island. I appreciate it, sir. And I think that's it. And I do apologize for lack of not doing stuff. We're still within the year, and I promise I am going to be doing stuff. Just busy with work and personal stuff, but again, I apologize. And I think that's it.
Thanks for what you're doing.
Any questions?
Okay, next, hearing of citizens. Have anybody? Brad?
Hopefully I'll be brief. I was watching the workshop that you folks had about the sidewalk snow removal. I may have not heard everything that was said, but what I did hear, Howard, you said something about blowing snow off the sidewalk onto my property over here. If that stayed that way, I just want you to know, speaking solely for myself, not the rest of the residents on Washington Street, but I don't want any sidewalk snow, salt, sand put onto my property. I paid Audrey pretty well this year to clean up the mess that the state put on there. Nick has been real good about not blowing snow onto my property, and I want that to be put, I want that known. Nick's been real good, and this was brought up a number of years ago when someone else was blowing snow all over the place. I mean, the Boyds just spent a ton of money getting their lawn looking really, really nice. I don't think that the sidewalk guy is responsible for wrecking it. I think the state is. But the state's not ponying up any money to take care of that stuff. And I think if the town is going to encourage our sidewalk contractor to be putting snow, salt, slush, sand onto our properties, maybe the town should pony up and take care of it. I suggest that's probably not going to be real popular either. But anyway, that's my thought. Thank you.
Anyone else? Roger?
Back again. I know what you were saying about the budget. I worked on a construction job once with 250 men for a contractor, went in on a job for 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. For 3 weeks, and he never did it.
Microphone, sir.
I went on a construction job with 250 men, went on a job that day for a contractor for the utility, and we did nothing for 3 weeks because they had to spend $3.5 million so they would get the budget allocated for the next year for $3 million. All right, putting that aside, last week I got jumped out pretty hard by a couple of guys who, when you asked me the question, approximately when was the retention hole dug by Steve Richardson on my property? And I said it's about 3 or 4 years. I've got 2 guys jumped on me, you're full of baloney. One guy jumped waving the papers. That was 12 years ago they said that happened. They had it partly right, because what they were describing is a job that had been done 12 years ago, which I have in this packet showing what that was. And they got confused. You were asking me about the culvert that was, the retention pond that Steve Richardson done for the town was 3 to 4 years ago. That's your answer. They got up there and they did their research on a job that was done 12 years ago that had nothing to do with this. So I want clarification on that. Okay. Second thing is that I'm going to reiterate some of the stuff that I've gone through before. First of all, when I first came here and give you people the packets, you people didn't know anything about this. Why isn't it that you hadn't been given this information, these letters of correspondence between Mr. Hackett and I, in those years that this has been happening? Doesn't he inform you of this? He goes to show, even mention in here, that when Doug Foglio came down and looked at the property, which he agreed to do so, and he gave him his opinion of what the job would be. And we got along pretty good till that point. He didn't bring up any issues like he did later that I mentioned to him that I did the retention hole. I did not. Steve Richardson did it. But Doug Foglio, at the end of that day, I was just watching him talk, and I said, what is your conclusion? How could you do the job? And Doug said, the only logical way that I can see is you cap this culvert that's coming in under the road on that side, coming to your side, dig a trench along the road to the culvert down below on the west side and let it drain in there. Same thing that Chamberlain told me, and you probably know about it anyhow back then. That's what they decided to do by the town at that time. But I can't understand why you haven't been getting the information from your guy in this town for the last 2 years, sending record letters back and forth. You got them all from me. I'm the guy giving you all the information. Why hasn't it come about? He says that he brings up the point that I mentioned to him that I did it. That's baloney. The guy that did the job was Steve Richardson. Have you got in contact with Steve Richardson in the last 2 years right off the get-go? Did you go see Steve and say, Steve, did you do that retention pond or was it Roger Leverly? Yes or no? Have you done that yet?
Again, sorry, Mr. Lillavelli, but the board has been apprised of all my communications with you. Secondly, I have communicated with Steve Richardson as well. And Steve Richardson did do the retention pond and filled it with crushed rocks. You are the one that filled it with loam and seeded it. So, again, yes, you are.
You don't put loam on a retention pond.
And then, Mr. Roger, we also have a very good book of record keeping that Bob Richardson was doing for many, many, many years.
Yeah.
And I have migrated it into the system as well as made copies. It was done several years ago, and I can't remember the exact date because, again, I wasn't prepared to do this tonight.
What was done several years ago?
But
Retention pond.
it was done several years ago.
Now by Bob Richardson and Steve Richardson.
The retention pond was done by Steve, all right, to hold the water from going across your property.
And hopefully holding the water, and it doesn't.
What you did do was you put a rock wall that cut the culvert off from the direction that it had naturally flowed. Now, you have complained to the York County Conservation, you have complained to DEP, you have claimed to Saco River Corridor. Now, again, you have been unsuccessful. I have had recent conversations with you, and I have told the board that I will provide them with the other information and the road history of that road. You also stated at one point right here in this meeting that Maine DOT spoke to you and told them that there's a law. Maine DOT has never had jurisdiction over Foss Road or Clark's Bridge Road, which was what it was called before it was renamed.
I talked
Foss
to the
Road-
DOT last year. I
they-
talked to Mr. Shepherd, not once, but twice. He looked it up, he said, hold on. He looked it up, he said, that road was turned over to the town in the 30s, and he said, if they inherited that town, that culvert is their problem. They inherited, you told me in the beginning, that you weren't responsible because that culvert was in the road when you got it. That's bullshit.
The culvert is the town's
You
responsibility.
bet that's what
So
you
if
told
the
me
town-
first.
Wait a minute, we're not gonna argue about this
Stan.
again. If the town takes the responsibility, it will dig the ditch as it was before you put the rock wall there.
The
okay?
rock wall was there when I bought it 40 years ago.
No, it wasn't.
Bullshit.
No,
You weren't there, I was there.
You installed rock wall.
Bob
Again,
Libby cleared that property, took all the boulders and pushed them to the end of the road with the existing wall. What I did 3 years ago is I took that wall apart because it kept crumbling. And I kept it there, they moved the wall, I filled it with cement.
You filled
And I
it with
poured
cement.
rocks in it, I didn't move that wall.
Hold it,
And
guys.
you
Hey,
put a footing.
time out.
And again, this stuff went over. This is another conversation for some.
Stan,
I
this
understand.
discussion should be at another time.
And
Well, you
again,
better get together with your guy and find out what's going on. The wall was there. Bob Libby cleared the property. I had permits from the Saco River Corridor Commission, and I got a stack of them that big.
Roger, I personally haven't been able to get down there and look at that. I know Laurie's been down. I don't know if any other board member's been
I've
down to
not.
look at it. You have?
I have not.
Okay. I think it's in our best interest to get a time set up where all of us can meet.
All right. I've been, this has been going on. You can ask Wade. You know, what prompted this really is Wade's mother. When one day he was at the recycling place and I said, geez, I got to get somebody to look at, this has been going on. And she looked at him and said, he has been bugging somebody for about 3 years. I didn't know how to come here, how to do this. This is all new to me. I didn't want to come here. I didn't figure, and I trusted that guy. I trusted him. He was the nicest guy in the world when it first came. But then he told me first that it is not our responsibility because we inherited that culvert. I had to call the DOT. The DEP I went to, they said it's not on us. We'll transfer you over to the DOT. So I got on the phone, the DOT, guy's name was Shepherd. And I explained my situation. He said, let me look. He got back to the phone, he said, the road was given over to the town on a certain date. When it does, it becomes, they inherit the problem. If it's negative or positive, they're responsible to take care of that road. He told me it's not our responsibility. It's grandfathered, the word he used. We don't have to do this. That was a lie. That was a lie. He lied to me then.
We have to go back and look at the timeline when this was all done, plain and simple.
Who did the work?
Yes.
Yeah, at first
And
he said
and
Steve
when
didn't
they
do
did
it. Steve did the work.
And when they did it.
About 3 years ago. 3.5 years ago.
Stan, can you send the board, can you have Dottie scan in the file from the time of the retention pond to date? All of the documents on the property and relating to the culvert, all of that?
yes, I can, and I did tell Jerry I was gonna do it. I got slammed this week with inspection, so I apologize on the delay, but I will get that to you first thing in the morning.
Okay. If we can get that, then maybe we can get something set up after we've got all the documents.
Now, the other thing is
review.
that, as I told you last week when I talked to Steve, Steve was not willing to come here and say that. What his reasons are, I don't know. He feels uncomfortable, let's just put it that way. But he said, I don't have to come. The paperwork has been submitted when I did the job, and it details, even to the aggregate, what I used.
Correct. Stan's gonna send that
Has he
to us.
found that yet?
Yes.
He has that?
Stan's got all the paperwork.
Okay.
He intended to
And
make
that will
copies.
show, and Steve said to me, that will show that I did the work, what it cost, how many hours, how much material is brought in.
So once Stan gets us all of the documentation, the board has a chance to review the town's records as well. We've
Okay.
got the packet from you.
That's good enough for me.
Then we can set up a time.
That information will be in the treasurer's records, because when any road commissioner, I know Bob was notorious for it, he writes down everything that he does during the
so we
week,
need
so
to-
we can go back in
So
that
we need to
time
get
period.
copies of all the records
pulled
to
those
review.
records.
My wife looked up on the internet, and the job that they were talking about 12 years ago, that was how I got to find out there was a culvert there. Steve Richardson was on the other side of the street, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm cleaning out the culvert." "What are you talking about?" So I walked across the street, and I went down the bank, and there it is. I said, "Oh," he says, "Oh, the culvert's been here," because I used to see cones along the street in the wintertime when the culvert used to plug up over the years. And then they had to clean that culvert out so the water could flow. Otherwise, it flooded the road, and it'd come to a sheet of ice. So they would put cones there to stop people from driving.
Was that ever replaced?
No, oh, yes. Steve told me, when I talked to him last, that I didn't know this. He said they did it when the road was chopped. They chopped the road. They must have gone and, they did work on a road, I don't know how many years back, where I guess they must have graded it again. They chopped everything up, and then they retop. He said they put it in with a material that doesn't rust. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll get,
So-
Roger, I'll get them the information,
Yeah?
all right, so that, you're right, I
Yeah.
didn't have the info, so let me get that to them so they have it on facts.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. I mean, I say, the wall's not creating the problem. The water is coming from across the street, and it's destroying whatever's there. And it took me years to figure it out. It took me years. I would get, Doug Fogarty will come down with 8 yards alone, not only for the front, the back, because it'd go over the back. And if you look at it now, we had a severe winter about 2 years ago. Now, I know the guy across the street from me has done some landscaping to change the tilt of the land where more water. But even Steve Richardson said, when I looked, there's a strip of woods across the street from my garden between the houses. We have never seen it like this until 2 years ago. I couldn't walk. I used to go in there and shoot partridge out of the apple trees. You got to use a pair of hip boots to get in there in the spring. Then it dissipates. And it disappears in the next, but while it's pouring and when it's really loaded up, it's coming into the road, through the culvert, and it dumps itself on my side. The DOT says if it has any negative impact on someone's land, it's they got to fix it up. And that's when I talked to Alan Chamberlain, and I didn't even know he was a selectman at that time, and that was last year. We were just sitting there talking, and he said, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm just having a little squabble with the town." He said, "About what?" I said, "Well, that across the street from me." He says, "You mean they haven't done that yet on that culvert? They're supposed to dig a road all the way past Spurwink and dump it in the culvert down below." And I was stunned, and I mentioned it to you. So you get a chance, you call Alan Chamberlain and talk to him and ask him what the heck he's talking about. And that was 20 years ago.
All right, so we're gonna have to look at the documents before we can even
Yeah.
address it. So, and Stan will get that to us this week.
If I did something wrong, I want to know what it was, and I'm going to admit to it.
Okay.
But I can't see I did anything wall. He mentions the wall. The wall was there. I rebuilt it because it was crumbling. I'm allowed to do that. But I wanted to make sure it never was going to fall apart again. My father and I built
So
that.
we can revisit this once we have all the documents. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Any other hearing citizens? Wendy?
Did I hear Julie say something about a phone case? Can I say something on that?
About what?
A phone case that,
Oh,
pay for it. The phone is expensive, number one, and she's protecting town property because the phone belongs to the town. Is that correct? And it's what, an iPhone, which is very expensive.
Yeah.
It's going to protect the phone. Just pay it. That's my opinion.
I'll just say, my intention of that last week was not, I mean, $119 for a phone case, I'll say it again, I'm gonna get another email, but it is a little expensive in my mind. I have an OtterBox case, it's $55 for the newest iPhone there is, but the reason I brought it up is it was a reimbursement, and on that reimbursement, it had sales tax. And I said, is the town required to reimburse sales tax because we are tax exempt?
It's up to you.
Okay.
It's up
That's
to the select board.
That
They
is
wanna
why
pay
I brought it up. I
the
didn't,
$2.50, whatever it is, you know.
I probably would have brought it up if it was a $40 phone case, and I'll probably bring it up for a $3,000 phone case, but
No, you won't, I will.
it turned into, well, I guess I'm
That's all.
sorry for talking about the phone case. It's $6.54 in tax. I know it's a minuscule amount. It was, my question was to see if we had to reimburse tax because we are tax exempt. My question was also, why couldn't we order a phone case on Amazon? The emails are there. I'm sure it'll be FOA'd.
I
was
work for a
just shocking to me.
tax-exempt company myself, and if I went out, if I didn't have the tax exemption
Yep.
thing, in which actually Verizon should be reimbursing you for that, if you send
Yeah.
that forward. And I would be on the phone with them. But it's just a minuscule amount of money, number one, and not all money is minuscule. You can't say that because we're playing with people's money, but she's protecting something that costs quite a bit of money.
Oh, yep.
Anyone else?
Lisa, talking about Limerick Historical Society. We have bingo Wednesday night up at the Bricktown Hall. Doors open at 4:40. Calling starts at 6. It is cash prices. You win cash money. Yeah. Also, the Historical's having an open house on August 16th at the Academy, 1 to 3. So if people want to come in, see what it's out. Dell's worked hard presenting cooking, the old-fashioned cooking equipment, and then compared to today's equipment. And thinking of cooking, I'm working with Audrey with Rec, Historical Society and Rec are going to combine and put on some cooking classes for children and adults. So that'll be coming up soon.
Howard, is there any updates on that tree that's in the cemetery beside
Matter
you
of
and in front
fact,
of
I
me?
talked to the tree guy today.
It looks like it's gonna topple any
He
day.
is going to get to it as soon as he possibly, and he's buried like everybody else. And we've also got a bunch of other trees that got to be taken down, so we had quite a discussion this morning about it, but it's going to be taken
Good,
very
I'm glad
quickly.
it's
Now,
gonna be
don't
done.
hold me to a what day. So, but it is on the docket to get it done.
Probably by fall, it should be taken care of.
I sure as hell hope so.
Thank you.
Yep. Cheryl?
The salt on the sidewalks, the state should be blamed for that first because they throw it onto the sidewalks and then the sidewalks have to throw it onto the lawns. But that's just my opinion. It's a combination of the two. One contractor or the state can't get blamed for either. But anyway, it came to my attention, the security in this building is not up to par. The old passwords are, no, combinations to the doors have not been changed since 2 of the past select board resigned. Apparently, a lot of the passwords are, everybody knows them, or a lot of people know them, or a few, whatever.
It's got to the point where, I know a few years ago, this place was locked up like a drum. We had one door open because there was a problem. And they jumped on it and everything was fine. We had to go through the one unlocked door until that passed. But when anybody can walk in here with a security clearance on the doors into any office you want to go into is not acceptable. That is ridiculous. It should be changed. Someone leaves the company, you have a neutral password, it's changed immediately. And someone with more security should be in charge, the admin, or one of the selectmen, and it should not be a password that everybody knows when you're putting it in. That's your private password. Anybody could walk in here, go through files, change things on computers if you're a computer with, I was appalled when I found that out. Anybody on the board know of this? Nobody knew that the locks and well, that's why it should have a key. You turn your key in, whatever, change the key lock. But nothing's been changed. And how long has it been? 3 years? Since John and
No idea.
Bernie retired, or resigned, I should say?
No idea.
No idea.
I have no idea when.
Nothing's been done since they got off the board.
Huh?
Nothing has been done since they got off the board.
No. None of the security clearances or anything have been changed. That's not acceptable. Not when my taxpayer money is spending on things that we don't know what's going on. Courtney should have charge. She's the admin. And that's another thing I gotta put in there. I need to have, or you need to have when you call, she's not a secretary, she's an admin. Please change it so she has the title as you guys do. Select board, treasurer, town clerk, whatever. Thank you. Back to security. Is it going to be discussed? Are you guys going to change it, or is it just going to go willy-nilly from now on and anybody can come and go as they please? Because there's been a couple of confrontations that were unacceptable in this building that shouldn't have happened. So, anyway. All right, let's go on to, I got that about Courtney.
What are the unacceptable confrontations?
No, the security is unacceptable.
Okay, you said an unacceptable confrontation.
It's
In my mind, a
everything.
confrontation is going through a security access door and getting in someone's face. That's a confrontation in my mind. But
Yeah, well,
I was under the impression my code was my code. I didn't know it was a shared code. But
Yeah. No, well, from what I gathered, that it has been quite free, whatever. It just needs to be looked into, I guess, is what I really want done for the safety of, like I said, years ago, this place was buttoned right up. Okay, stop with that. Woodhull Studios. I spoke of it last week, and I think Gail said it was something to do with the Bricktown Hall. How long is this going on, and is this account almost broke? Because there was it's totaled up to $6,388 for, I guess, consultation or whatever.
We had a contract for a specific price for that. Off the top of my head, I don't know what that number was.
Mm-hmm. Is anything going to become of it? Are we still just going to be dumping money into the building and not be able to use it?
Well, hopefully we'll be able to have a plan from it for the engineering to make sure that it's ADA compliant.
Which it should have been several years ago,
Right.
but, here we are dumping more money into it again. But, okay, I guess that, because Judy answered a lot of the questions that I had, so, okay, thank you. I'll be watching the security.
Anyone else? Okay, going under old business, deep fail update. We don't, Ms. Neal,
They were pretty much done with that. They're just extending.
yeah, I drive past the site quite a lot. It looks like the paving is
Pretty
done,
much done.
hydro seeding's done.
they're getting ready to do the other
Thank
one
you,
now.
everyone. Have a good night.
Okay, tax acquired properties. Sam?
All right, so I just have a quick update on our map 38, lot 3, Fisher Drive, which is under contract. The buyers turned in their deposit. Title is working on the title search and preparing the closing. We're on track for closing on August 11th. The second thing on my list, I have just up the street from there, map 38, lot 7, Fisher Drive. And I would recommend listing at the same price since we had so much success with the first one. I think we could probably get the 2 other buyers who were interested in lot 3 to come back and maybe put an offer on that. Under the same terms as before, 6% commission, 3% going to the buyer agent, no dual agency for a 3-month term. Would the board like to vote on listing map 38, lot 7 for $55,000?
I hear a motion.
I make a motion that we list map 38, lot 3 on Fisher Drive.
How about 7? Lot 7.
Lot 7.
Oh, sorry about that.
3 is the one under contract.
Okay. I don't have my glasses on. Wrong
Right up the
line.
road.
Lot 7.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor? All opposed?
I'll be abstaining.
All right, so we just have initials on the first 3 pages. At the bottom, pick a line, any line. The last page,
Pick a line to sign.
anyone you want.
It's hot.
That's 75 there. That's on heat, not air conditioning.
So that will be 2 weeks from today, we'll be coming back with map 38, lot 7.
And also the
With offers,
closing documents.
yes. So, so on the others, we still have 2 remaining. Sheila Hemeth, which is Main Real Estate, map 46, lots 24, 25, and 26 combined. The one that made the offer last week, we told him it was declined and remained the same amount asking. So he increased it by $20,000. He's one of those, so again, does the board want to accept the offer? Do they want to counter the offer? Or would you like to remain with the current listing of 60,000, or would you like to reduce the
What
listing?
is his total offer up to?
20,000.
Oh, so he didn't increase it by just 2.
Yeah, we were asking 60,000.
And that one is an acre and a half?
That is an acre and a half.
How much of it is usable?
It's,
Not a lot.
Not a lot. It has like a huge gully in
Just-
it.
Like one side is like this, the first lot's like a steep hill like this down into a hole.
Yeah.
The middle has like a tiny flat area and then it goes up into like a mountain on the 3rd lot. And it's all in Saco River corridor.
Oh, so
and
they
it's
can't do
part of
anything
it's
with
in a
it.
flood zone.
Have fun with the corridor.
They're good
So-
time.
Oh, yeah.
it is a challenging lot, but it is still buildable, but because,
Let me-
again, that was one of the ones that had to be combined.
On that
And
one,
so-
do you know if that was a Lake Arrowhead acquired or if it was tax acquired?
This was tax acquired.
So,
It's not one of the settlement lots where we would
Right.
have room to move. So
Right.
tax acquired, and I would agree that we need a little bit of a workshop or short meeting with the board to go over the differences of what Judy's talking about. R.H. Smith did, or Karen set up the cash receipts account so that we're actually only receiving it in 4 different accounts. But if it isn't in Trio, you can't account for it the same way you do in Trio. And Judy's got some valid concerns, but I don't want to go into that tonight on you. But back to the 3 lots.
do we want to, given the type of property it is, that it's tax acquired, that it's, do we want to counter? Do we want to? I mean, with that kind of property, they're not gonna have a lot of room to enjoy their property. And,
Now, is that the one that's got a ravine in it?
This one's got the huge ravine, almost 2/3 of the way, and then it's got a small buildable. Like,
and then a huge hill right.
my opinion, it'd probably be 40,000, and probably you would get a decent office. But
I mean, do we wanna counter with 40?
Does it have any material on the property to compensate the ravine? You know, is there a gravel reserve?
Yeah,
I haven't seen the property, so I don't know.
Not to interrupt you, but to answer your question, being in the Saco River corridor, moving material around is like really super difficult.
So it is a part of
You're
the
gonna get a
corridor.
huge fine if you do.
Okay, so it is a part of the corridor. I didn't say.
Yeah.
And it's
I haven't,
listed at 69,000?
we were asking 60,000 for it.
60,000.
It's the only offer that we've had. He's
Okay,
upped it.
and when you guys are considering offers and counter offers and that, Saco River corridor does not take a play in that. Saco River corridor has no enforcement authority. They're a consulting and recommendation body.
Tell them that, Stan.
But
I was
they
just
do
gonna
not
say.
have any authority, so I don't want that to take consideration on the value of the land.
Right, but they do make it difficult
We're working
for
on that.
homeowners.
Their permit application process is fun.
20,000 a pat, so you see we split the difference.
Well, we're 30, I say we, counter for 40 and see what they say.
I mean, we could counter for 40 and then if they don't accept it, list it at 40.
Well, if you counter it, then it's going to stay at 60,000. The offer's going to be made to the one making the offer, and if he refuses, you're going to wait another 2 weeks. That's the only difference. But if you lower it to 40, maybe the one making the offer will say, okay, I'll take it for 40 because I can grade this big hill off and fill it in more to make it more usable. But it's up to the board.
Part of my thought process on that is because it's tax acquired, the town is only going to make what they owed for taxes and interest. That's it.
Which right now, off the top of my head, is about $38,000.
What?
We've had some of these properties for a very long time.
This is one of those lots that are going to
And
bite.
it sounds like a beautiful lot, so the value is high.
Well, because it's 1.5 acres, but it is, the majority of it is very much a challenging lot, if you will.
Yeah. Do we want to counter for 45?
I was just thinking the same thing, 45.
If we counter for 45, we're losing 5 if they accept it. Nothing says they're going to accept it, and they may counter again.
Again, my recommendation and idea is change the offer to 45,000 or the selling price, and then if he counters it at 40 or whatever, then you're not killing another week on this realtor. So,
Rather than changing all the paperwork, I said go back and count at 45,000 and call it quits.
I say
You
change
wanna-
the paperwork, change the sales price. Because there's not a lot that they have to do for the paperwork to change it. We've already got, it's just,
so would you rather just change the selling price and then
yeah,
have, come in with an offer?
yeah.
So, right there, put what you want to vote for the change in price.
All right. Wait a minute, where am I putting it?
Here, I'll help you.
Because that's not the,
All right, this is the price change. This is not the price change form.
nope, that's, do we want to vote, do we need to vote to do?
You need to vote on the change.
I would make a motion to lower the asking price on whatever map it is, lots 24 to 26 at Katy Circle, down to 45,000.
I'll second that.
And I had it in here
Moved and
from last
seconded,
week.
move it
I can print one for you
All those in
if you want me
favor?
to email you a blank.
Opposed?
Did I do it? This was last week.
That's last week.
And
That's property disclosures. The board should not be signing these.
I told him not to. Actually, it took them. away at this
I don't
point.
have it on this document.
So what I'm gonna have to do is.
Email and price change addendum.
Okay.
I will, if you vote on the addendum,
We did.
I will get you the paperwork and get it to Courtney to sign, and I will let her know that it's in the process so she can change the listing.
Okay, yeah, we voted on it, so
Okay, awesome.
voted and passed.
So the next one is map 42, lot 97. We were asking 49,900. We had two offers. Offer number one is 35,000. Offer number two is 59,500. So I won't make a recommendation, but I'll let you guys decide.
I make a motion, we accept offer 2. Well, is there any, well, let me rephrase that. Any
Contingencies?
contingencies, any proof of funds, contingencies, inspections,
No,
nothing?
they did make a deposit of 1,500, no contingencies involved.
They say when they can close?
December? Can they close by December?
The closing in person, this says closing August 19th.
Okay, even better.
Okay, I'll stick with my motion then to accept that offer.
Now, you do realize I get 20%.
Yeah.
You're dreaming tonight.
No, you get to keep your job.
Okay.
Okay, motion seconded.
Moved and seconded to accept it for $59,000. All those in favor? Opposed? No.
Ambitious.
Just give that to Courtney when you're done, and I'll get it in the morning. There's only one other thing I'd like to ask the board. If we could move up the tax-acquired properties, since it's no longer old business, but it's a weekly thing, just more to the front so that some of the realtors...
Would you like it under department reports?
It would be fine there. but-
Okay.
Okay. And I apologize, but again, Mr. Lovely got some misinformation there, but we will get you the proper.
We'll get it solved.
Thank you.
Courtney, can we put it up under department reports? Can somebody, this is going to be silly because it's just been a long day already. Today is the
28.
28th. All right. All right, next up.
Okay, warrant articles for this August 18th special town meeting.
These we need to vote on so that Courtney can get these published, get the town meeting published this
Well-
week.
We need to meet the budget committee.
The budget committee needs to meet.
They are, the budget committee is trying to meet on Wendy?
Well, Stephanie, I understand that Cheryl Edgerly is going to be appointed to the budget committee. Have not heard anything from Susan Kerr, right, Courtney? So, as I told you at one point, out of necessity, we can have a no recommendation for these warrant articles because of that. And I did send all of you some of the things that could resolve our issue with the 5-member board. Because the past few years or sessions, you may have had 5 people, but they all don't show up. You know, you have people not showing up. So I make a recommendation to
Revise the ordinance?
revise the ordinance from 5 to 3. 3 seems to be a pretty good number, because even if we vote with 3, we all get a vote in unison. And we know how that works.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That brings up a good point. We could also, if we wanted to alleviate the situation prior to budget season, we could put it on this special town.
No, it's an ordinance, so it has to go to secret ballot.
Okay.
That's it. You could put it on a November ballot.
Can we just close our eyes?
Yeah, huh?
Just close our eyes?
Yeah, can. But, and this is not my decision, but we don't have a quorum
Yeah.
at this point.
So it's something that'll have to go on November.
Yeah. And the two articles you're voting on are very necessary. The payroll and the comprehensive plan.
Wendy, if the budget committee can't be there to meet, to make a recommendation, would you and/or maybe another budget member be available at the town meeting for your personal opinion on these?
Yeah.
To support the amendment?
Excuse me?
To either recommend or, personally support or
Yes,
say,
we do
yeah,
that.
no,
Yeah.
we don't want
And
this
we can-
payroll company, we don't want paychecks, don't do it. Thank you. I better clarify, yes, we do want the payroll company because we do want to continue getting paychecks.
She looked over at me, that's why she said that. This payroll company is gonna be so much better. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Okay, so we need a vote on this?
Are we, I don't know, this is the first time I'm doing this. Brady, do we need to wait? Or do we need to vote? We need to vote to recommend this, don't we? Or not recommend?
Yeah, I mean, there's been times that we've made our recommendations prior to meeting with the budget committee, but sometimes we change them at the budget committee, but we do need a vote to make the warrant.
This is on the floor, right? I can't remember yet. This is on the floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, you go ahead and make your recommendation. You can make it tonight.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
I would move to recommend these warrant articles as written.
And recommend a yes vote on 3 and 4.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes. What you said. Sorry. I would move to recommend I would move that the select board recommend Article 3 and 4 on the special town meeting warrant.
There's a yes vote.
And then you're going to have a moderator, right? Which is usually been Stan, correct? And you're doing it here
Can you ask
or
Stan if
fire
he-
Fire
station?
department.
if he can
Yep.
be available?
Okay. Moved. We have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. To accept the warrant article for August 18th. All in favor? Opposed?
I got one more thing to tell you.
Oh,
So, on October 9th, I'm having surgery. I'm going to be out for 12 weeks, so.
No.
And so if we don't, first of all, if we do not have a quorum as it stands, there's one, if we could vote, then we could vote or make a policy for that committee so that I could zoom in. But if we don't have another body, if it's just Cheryl and I.
can you draft up a proposed policy?
Yeah, I can do that, yeah. And I can Zoom from home, even if there was somebody else who can't make it here, could Zoom from home.
Yep.
I can't, I don't know how.
You'll be here by
Well,
yourself.
somebody has to be here on TV.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be the full 12 weeks.
Right.
After that, someone may have to come
But
pick
in
me up.
case of a, emergency or special circumstances, I mean, I don't, for discussion purposes only, I wouldn't want it to become an everyday common just because they don't feel like showing up kind of thing, So, but I think under special circumstances, that would,
Also, if there's anyone out there that hasn't, like to have you give a thought to being on the budget committee, please get in touch with Courtney. It's not like you're doing this every week or every,
I do know, the ordinance itself, let me get up here. So, the ordinance itself says no department head will be can be on the budget committee. That does not include the select board. And I asked, and I have the email somewhere, I asked Maine Municipal at one time if a select board member can be on the budget committee. So who would like to do that? I'll double check my notes, but there's another body, person, I think in mind.
no, I think, personally, I think that's a conflict.
No,
Your
No.
opinion?
that's your opinion, this is my opinion.
Yep.
But I asked MMA about it at one point. I'll check into it again.
Can you check into it again, and maybe Jerry can do it?
That would be a definitely no.
Wade? Brady?
Laura, you can go back for old time's sake.
Yeah.
I got enough
You know
on,
the role.
I've got enough on my plate.
The budget committee reunion with Lori.
Okay, going on.
Hold on, I got one question. So I will put in the recommendations from the board and then have this ready for you guys to sign tomorrow? Because I gotta get this out.
Yes.
Go type in yes for us while we're just doing this. How's that? Does that work?
And then under budget, we need to put no recommendation. For budget committee, it's gonna be
No recommendation.
no recommendation given. I mean, we
Just
don't. None.
Just
Yeah.
none.
Yeah.
And we can explain ourselves at the meeting.
All right, that's good. All right.
Okay. New business, approve and sign policies.
Oh,
We
yep,
have-
those were the policies that we went over on the workshop that Courtney made the revisions to. I would move to approve and sign the policies either as written or as revised and updated.
Do I hear a second? Second. All-
We'll have to ask Courtney. Are they in the folder?
Just curious, no big deal.
All right, can we finish our vote? All in favor?
All opposed? Okay, next, discuss and, discuss sending out department budget templates.
Courtney has the department budget templates ready to go. Does the budget committee member have any recommendation on when you guys would like to be getting them back so we know when to send them out? Obviously, the earlier we send them, it's more difficult to project for the year, but we don't want to run into what the budget committee ran into last year.
Last 3 years.
Yes. Well, last year was especially bad because people weren't turning them in until the end of October, beginning of November, through November into
I
this.
said September 30th.
Yeah,
Get them out now?
Get them out now, have them back by,
I was gonna say October 1st.
okay.
And right now, we don't know, COLA.
Right. So do you think the budget committee may end up just saying we're going to add COLA once it comes out? So leave COLA out.
She said yes.
She hasn't been appointed yet. So if we can go ahead and email those out.
Department templates.
And then, oh, sorry, the budget templates. But will you, because we're gonna put a deadline of September 30th on them to have them returned, but maybe make a note somewhere for yourself to follow up, because people are gonna forget. They're gonna set it aside and forget it.
They don't turn it in, they don't get a budget.
Bingo.
Yeah, we said that for 3 years.
No, I will, so what I'll do
You know who's always been
is-
late turning in their budgets? The select board.
Hey, they don't get it.
So,
Fire department didn't turn theirs in at all last year.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
okay, anyway, I really need the gavel over here. Just saying. Anyways, so when am I sending those out? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, I will send them out tomorrow, and then I will send reminders every 2 weeks until I get them back.
Perfect. But let everybody know that September 30th is the drop dead deadline. Budget committee's not accepting any after that.
Every 2 weeks, I will send a reminder email.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, next, Maine Community Media Association membership. The, is that the one with the Saco River corridor?
Yes.
We've got to sign that then.
We have the template letter that we got sent that Howard as the board chair can sign, and I can get that sent over to Tony Vecchio.
Okay, I'll do that before I leave. Okay, next, appointments and resignations. We have Cheryl Edgley for the Budget Committee, Heath Edgley for the Board of Appeals, Russell S. Nutting for the Board of Appeals, and Clifton Finch for the Board of Appeals.
I would move
Comments?
to appoint Cheryl to Budget Committee.
Okay, moved. Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
All those opposed?
Okay, next, Heath Edgley for the Board of Appeals.
Make a motion to accept Heath as appointment to the Board of Appeals.
I will second for purposes of discussion. I have
Okay.
concerns.
As do I.
Basically, my biggest concern is potential relationship with an appeal we have coming up. Relationship with CIA, and that's an appeal that's coming up. I don't know that I don't know how that would work. I mean, Stan says, you know, they've got a really good relationship. They kind of feed off of each other, but at the same time, he also throws them under the bus. Sorry, Stan, I just threw you under the bus for telling me that. But, I know, but he'll watch this later.
And what I'll say for discussion is that I'm going to be recommending no on all the appointments. I know the positions need to be filled, but the positions have been open for months, and I don't know why all of us, especially the appeals board, I don't know why all of a sudden there's people jumping to get on that when we have probably a big appeal coming up.
I can answer that, I think. Part of that is because people are starting to reach out going, look, we need people on the board. And instead of just reading it at the announcements, it's, people are making phone calls. People are, you know, talking to people saying, we need people to be on these boards. I mean, go ahead.
I'm concerned about things that have been in the media too. I don't know how constructive he can be, or partial he can be.
But we are required to have a Board of Appeals. We do need to have people by state law. We are supposed to have, we are required to have one. We do not right now.
Don't get me wrong, I like the guy, no problem, I just don't like this, the commentaries, let's put it that way, and I don't know how he can be impartial.
Maybe he can.
I just don't know.
It came out.
No way of knowing until you try.
I mean, they are appointed, so we don't have to go through.
But if that happens, we can pull that appointment too.
Right. That's what I'm thinking is, you know, something goes sideways, we can pull that appointment. It's not a recall process like it is for elected. It's not.
We are asking citizens to take leadership role in committees, and I, for one, want to be a board that puts ourselves above anyone else in the community or anything.
Can I ask a question?
Hang on, let him finish his thought first, though.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't want to be asking people to join a committee and be the board that's on TV saying, well, we're going to cherry pick the persons that we want. I don't feel that is right. I feel that is discouraging the members of our community, that we already are struggling to get members. And I commend every person that is willing to stand up and take a leadership role on a committee.
And
Or board.
does the board seem to be concerned about what could be said on the Facebook? Because you just signed a Facebook policy, didn't you? Because everybody should honor that, no matter who you are. Blasting people on Facebook is not a good thing. Of course, they'll probably say something tonight.
It is.
We did.
Think about it.
The town has a Facebook policy? Is that one of the policies that you just signed?
It is, but I think that one is more
Just for the town Facebook.
That one's just for the town Facebook page.
Oh,
But
I'm not on for it.
however, that being said, one of the policies that we have to look at coming up is the employee handbook policy, personnel policy, that I think it would be appropriate, well, we'll discuss that in the workshop, but that's something that could be added into the employee handbook.
I totally agree.
Any more discussion?
I won't have a pool as long as he's impartial. Takes an impartial look at it, at anything. But I don't want to see stuff flying on Facebook, because I'll be the first one to pull that appointment. Okay, so do we have let's take a vote. How many are in favor of Heath? Okay, all opposed? Okay. Next one, Russell Nutting, now that is Scott, it's not old Russ, so to speak.
Right.
Okay, and I hear a motion for having Scott Nutting on the board.
Make a motion to appoint Scott Nutting, Russell Nutting Jr. to the board.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, last one is Clifton Finch for Board of Appeals. All those in favor?
Hang on, will that make 5 for the board?
I think the person that was appointed last week was, we
Yeah.
used the wrong name, we used Doug
Right,
Finch.
we used the wrong,
So, Harry,
yeah.
Keith, Scott,
And
or Bud.
is
So
Steve still on it, or no? No.
Huh?
Is Steve still on it?
No.
No.
So there's, you still have 4.
Okay.
And that still makes it 4, and that's a full. It's not a full.
They just have to have 3 votes in the affirmative to pass anything.
I keep handing the microphone to everybody and I'm not talking into it, sorry. Yeah, so you still have 4 members, so that is still a quorum, so they can now set appeals and stuff like that.
Okay. I would move to go ahead and appoint,
Lynn?
yes, Clifton Bud Finch.
Okay, we hear a second?
Second.
Okay, moved and second, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, all done with the appointments. We have next resignation. We have a resignation from Stephanie Bishop from the Budget Committee. We'd have a motion to accept her resignation.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
I'll save for discussion real quick. I know Stephanie put a lot of years on the
Yep, she
budget
did.
committee, so I appreciate her and all she's done. It's
It's
sad to see her go.
Yeah, it is.
Budget season won't be the same.
No, it won't. No, it won't. But hopefully, things go well for her, and we wish her well.
Same here. Okay, lastly, correspondence, a letter about the lilac bushes, what's that all about?
Yeah, so we received a letter, and it says, date July 23rd, 2026, to Board of Select Persons and Citizens of Limerick, from a very pleased and appreciating citizen, subject clearing the strip of property in front of the rock wall and trees on Washington Street, and it says this. I would like to take this time to report on some great news for a change. I'm not on social media, so I'm using this platform to express my appreciation to Lisa Gagnon, who is the director in the Limerick Historical Society. She has single-handedly cleared that strip of property in front of the rock wall and lilac bushes with the homeowner's permission. Lisa did this herself to beautify this area. This was requested several times to the board by Kathy Ward to have this cleared. Lisa did this at no charge and took about 6 to 7 truckloads to the dump and was only charged for 2 loads. I feel the citizens of this town owe Lisa Gagnon a thank you for her desire to make Limerick beautiful at no expense to anyone. Thank you.
Thanks for her work.
Thank you.
Okay. Having no other business before the board tonight, I move for adjournment.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Good night. Boy, right on the money, too, at 9 o'clock.
I